All right, so, you're always looking for those key insights,
Yeah,
without wading through mountains of information.
absolutely.
That's what we're all about here.
Right, getting to the heart of it.
Today, we're going to take a deep dive into a market that's generating, you know, a ton of interest lately.
For sure.
The UAE real estate market and specifically the investment opportunities there.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
So to guide us through this, we're tapping into the expertise of Dr. Puyan Gamari.
Oh, a great resource.
He's a Swiss economist and the founder of Ayland,
Mm-hmm.
which is really making waves in this space.
They are?
So think of this deep dive as like a shortcut
Yeah.
to understanding where the real high yield potential is in UAE real estate right now.
Exactly.
Not just hype, but real potential.
Right, cutting through the noise to the good stuff.
Right. And what's so valuable about this is Dr. Gamari's perspective comes from years of hands-on experience in the market.
I mean, that's invaluable.
And we'll also delve into how Ayland is using some really innovative digital tools and technologies to kind of shift the whole landscape of how people invest.
Oh, absolutely. They're really at the forefront of that.
So to kick things off, let's get a clear picture of the current state of the UAE real estate investment scene.
Okay, so one thing that really jumps out is how resilient the market is.
Resilient.
Yeah, even with, all the global economic uncertainty, the UAE's real estate market has held up remarkably well.
Wow.
And it's not just, standing still, it's adapting.
Wow.
It's supported by some really smart government incentives, and it's, very sensitive to changes in the global economy.
So it's not just like, a one-size-fits-all kind of market.
No, not at all. It's incredibly diverse.
Diverse in what way?
You've got your residential properties, obviously, but also a thriving commercial sector.
Uh-huh.
And there's a growing trend toward mixed-use developments, which are becoming really popular.
Mixed use, what exactly does that mean?
So these are spaces that combine, living, working, and leisure all in one.
Ah, like a little self-contained city.
Yeah, pretty much. And geographically, while everyone focuses on Dubai and Abu Dhabi,
Right.
other Emirates are starting to show some really interesting opportunities.
So beyond those big names, there are other places worth looking at.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
The UAE as a whole has a lot to offer.
Now, we've all heard about this influx of high net worth individuals moving to the UAE.
Oh, yeah, that's a big factor.
But is this just, anecdotal, or is this really having a tangible impact on the market?
No, this is very real.
Right.
It's a major driver. The UAE has become a magnet for wealthy individuals and families.
And why is that? What's attracting them?
Well, a few things.
Like?
The tax environment is very attractive.
Right. Makes sense.
But also the UAE is very proactive on sustainability,
Uh-huh.
which is something that's really important to a lot of people globally now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the UAE's reputation as an international business hub. So all of that combined means there's a lot of wealth concentrated in the UAE, and that naturally fuels demand for, high-end properties.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Pretty much.
Okay, so beyond just being a desirable place to live, what are the strategic reasons why an investor should be considering UAE real estate right now?
Right. Well, if we're talking about high-yield opportunities, there are some key strategic drivers at play.
Okay.
You have the government's policies and the economic growth trajectory.
So let's talk about those policies first.
All right, so the government has been very deliberate in creating a very investor-friendly environment.
Can you give me some specifics? What kind of policies are we talking about?
Sure, they've introduced and expanded long-term residency visas specifically for investors.
So you can live there if you invest.
Exactly, and they're continuously expanding freehold ownership laws to more areas.
Which means?
It means you can own property outright in more places, not just lease it.
Yeah.
And these aren't just small changes. These are significant moves to attract and retain capital.
I see. So they're really committed to this.
Oh, absolutely.
And what about the economic outlook?
Really positive, strong GDP growth forecasts and a steadily growing population that's a solid foundation. For investors, it means potential for long-term capital appreciation on your assets.
So your property value goes up.
Exactly. And also a good stream of rental income.
So you can make money while you wait.
That's the idea.
Now, what about big events like Expo 2020?
Yeah.
Did that just give the market a temporary boost, or is there a lasting impact?
It's interesting. The legacy of Expo 2020 is proving to be very long-lasting.
Really?
Yeah, it really jump-started a lot of urban development, particularly in areas like Dubai South and Dubai Creek Harbor.
I see. So it wasn't just a one-off thing.
Not at all.
And what's really interesting from an investment perspective
Yeah.
is that they're continuing to pour money into infrastructure in those areas.
Oh, huge investment.
Yeah.
Better transportation networks.
To make it easier to get around.
Right. And also smart city technologies to make these areas more efficient and attractive.
So they're really building for the future.
Exactly.
And all of that feeds into increasing real estate values, right?
Absolutely, making these areas very attractive for investors.
Okay, now another topic that keeps coming up is sustainability.
Yes.
How is the UAE's focus on that impacting its real estate market?
That's a big one, and it's creating a lot of new opportunities.
How so?
Well, the UAE is deeply committed to sustainability, and this is actually shaping the real estate landscape.
So are investors and tenants actually looking for green buildings and sustainable developments?
Oh, increasingly so.
Really?
Yeah, you see investors and end users focusing on properties with green building certifications and, those smart city initiatives that prioritize eco-friendly technologies.
So the UAE is becoming a leader in sustainable real estate.
Yeah, they're definitely ahead of the curve.
And that attracts a certain type of investor, right?
Absolutely. The environmentally conscious ones who are willing to, maybe pay a premium for those types of properties.
Interesting. So it's not just about doing good, it can also be good for your bottom line.
Exactly. These developments can often command higher rents and see greater long-term value appreciation.
So sustainability is not just a trend, it's a smart investment.
That's right.
Now, we've talked about government policies, economic growth, the impact of major events and sustainability. What about the role of foreign investment?
Oh, that's huge.
In what way?
Dubai especially has become a safe haven for global capital. And it's not just individuals.
Right.
You're seeing more institutional investors from Europe, Asia, North America entering the market.
Wow. So why are they choosing the UAE?
Well, the UAE is actively diversifying its economy.
Away from oil.
Exactly. And that's attracting these big players.
So this influx of foreign investment is a good sign, right?
Oh, yeah. It means the market is seen as stable and with good long-term prospects.
Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about technology. You mentioned digital transformation earlier.
Yes.
What kind of impact is that having on real estate investment in the UAE?
This is where things get really interesting.
How?
Technologies like blockchain and tokenization are starting to revolutionize the market.
Blockchain in real estate.
Yeah.
That still sounds a bit futuristic to me.
I know, right? But it's happening.
So how does it work?
Okay, so think of blockchain as like a digital ledger. It's super secure, transparent, and decentralized. So for real estate transactions, it makes everything more transparent.
In what way?
All the records are immutable, easily verifiable. You need fewer intermediaries, and it speeds up the whole process.
So less paperwork, less hassle.
Exactly, and lower transaction costs.
So it's a win-win.
Pretty much.
Now what about tokenization? How's that fitting?
So tokenization takes that blockchain concept even further. It's basically turning ownership rights of a property into digital tokens.
Digital tokens.
Yeah, and these tokens can be bought, sold, traded.
So it's like buying shares in a company, but instead you're buying shares in a property.
Exactly, and that opens up fractional ownership.
What do you mean?
You can own a piece of a high-value property without having to buy the whole thing.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it makes investing in real estate accessible to a much wider range of people.
So democratizing real estate investing.
Exactly.
Are there any platforms doing this already?
Oh, yeah. eGold is a great example.
What do they do?
They're creating these marketplaces for treating tokenized real estate assets.
So it's like a stock market for real estate.
Yeah, kind of. And it adds a lot of liquidity to the market, which is great for investors.
So this is like the next evolution of real estate investing.
I think so.
Now, where does Ayland fit into all of this?
They're really smart. They're integrating all these tools into their platform.
So they're combining digital marketing with blockchain and AI.
Yeah, they're at the cutting edge.
And what does that mean for someone who wants to invest?
Well, you get access to real-time market data, sophisticated analytics.
So you can make more informed decisions.
Exactly, and they facilitate secure cross-border transactions.
Which is important for international investors.
Absolutely.
So they're making the whole process more efficient,
Right.
more transparent, more data-driven.
Right, giving you the tools to make smarter investments.
Okay, so bringing it back to Dr. Gamari, what's his take on the current and future state of UAE real estate investment?
He's very bullish on the market.
Bullish meaning?
He thinks it offers really unique opportunities right now.
Why is that?
He points to the government Support the commitment to sustainability and the rapid adoption of technology.
So those three pillars create a solid foundation for growth.
Exactly. And he believes investors should align their strategies with the forces shaping the UAE's future.
Which are?
Tech-driven urbanization, smart and sustainable infrastructure, and environmental sustainability.
So investing in areas that benefit from those trends.
Right.
And he's a big proponent of using services like Ayland.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they provide those actionable insights and data-driven strategies to help you optimize your returns.
So whether you're looking at residential properties in Dubai or commercial developments in Abu Dhabi,
exactly,
Ayland can give you that edge.
They can.
Okay, so for someone listening who represents a corporate investor, what are some practical steps they should be taking based on all of this?
Well, first, I would say focus on identifying niche markets.
Not just the obvious places.
No, look for emerging areas with new infrastructure development.
Places that are poised for growth.
Exactly, like Dubai Silicon Oasis or Dubai South.
Okay, what else?
Embrace those digital tools and platforms we talked about.
The ones that provide real-time data analytics and AI recommendations.
Yes, because that's the future of real estate investing.
And don't forget about sustainability.
Right, prioritize developments that align with the UAE's sustainability goals.
Green building certifications, eco-friendly projects.
Exactly, because those are likely to generate better returns in the long run.
And finally,
consider fractional ownership through tokenization.
So you can diversify your portfolio without huge upfront costs.
Exactly. It's a great way for institutional investors to get involved.
Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive today, we've learned that the UAE real estate market is supported by strong government policies, robust economic growth, and significant global interest.
That's right.
We've seen how technologies like blockchain and tokenization are transforming the way people invest.
Absolutely.
And we've highlighted some strategic areas with high yield potential.
Like emerging districts and sustainable development.
Exactly. And as Dr. Gamari emphasized, understanding both the local market dynamics and the global trends is crucial for making smart investments.
Couldn't agree more.
So as you consider your next investment move, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
How will the UAE's vision, technological advancements, and global investment appetite further shape the UAE real estate landscape?
It's an interesting question.
What new opportunities might emerge that we haven't even thought of yet?
Who knows? The future is full of possibilities.
And stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I encourage you to check out the resources offered by Ayland E. Gold and the Ayland Times.
Great advice.
They've got their fingers on the pulse of this market.
They do.
All right, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the UAE real estate market.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.